Radiant team pick.
Tiny Shadow Fiend. Chaos Knight.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summer presentation of the Starladder Europe Star Series 13 match between Vega, Squadron, and 4C&L Lepricon. Always with the production value over here, guys. Don't mind it one little bit. There we go. Alrighty, so we are going to be getting underway with Game 2 of this best-of-3 series, and it is going to be pretty interesting. I mean, already Vega Squadron showing that they have the ability to really take team fights to the next level, really just out-tempo that of the more farm-oriented 4C&L, and just kind of go for better methodical play when it comes down to mid-game aggression. So looking forward to seeing what Vega Squadron will be bringing now that they're on the dire side. But we've already got a very interesting draft on our hands. So once again, I myself am Blaze. Game number 2. So opening up here, we saw a few interesting bans here, namely the Darkseer being banned out Phase 1. Everything else kind of makes sense. Queen of Pain isn't as often banned out either, but we do see the IO first pick coming off of Vega Squadron, and now we see where 4C&L's unique strategic potential play. We saw this just recently in Dream League. Alliance drafting up against first pick Wisp. They often, and in this case consistently, pick up Tiny in response to deny that pick from the Wisp team, as well as put it in their hands. Sexy Bambo runs off-lane Tiny and runs kind of assassination build. So essentially, he's looking for ways to get in close to his opponents, blink in, combo them, and just nuke them down. He puts out massive hero damage with this off-lane Tiny. And as far as I know, he didn't even have any support in this game. So very, very interesting. Maybe he'll have Tiny Tusk. That could be a pretty good wombo combo as well. No matter the case, Bambo seems very comfortable with one of these kind of wacky off-lane heroes, and definitely not one that you'll see most commonly picked up in the meta in this capacity. So, denies the Tiny from the Wisp. Instead, Wisp is going to be coupled with Chaos Knight, which still has a lot of great value. I mean, Chaos Knight is going to be able to do a lot of damage to Tiny in particular, now that the Chaos Strike has the chance to reduce Tiny's armor. And Craig Exterior just isn't as good against multiple units as it is against one that attacks very quickly. So Chaos Knight going to be a pretty good answer once he gets his ultimate out, and Shadow Fiend's going to be the one that has to control that. They needed some AoE damage to deal with this CK, and the Shadow Fiend raises and Requiem should be one of the better answers. If you don't kill off the Phantasms from the CK early on in a fight, then they are just going to run a train over you. And it's just going to be problematic. The Dazzle, in particular, with the Shadow Wave, can do that heal bomb, physical damage. It's just going to get ugly very quickly. From here, Vega Squadron, I'm not sure. They'll probably need a controlling offlaner. They won't get the Beastmaster this time, but they could easily get something like Clockwork. Nyx Assassin is one of my favorites as well. Just somebody with disables to set up the relocate plays. But otherwise, their mid could just be like a negative arm. Go for a Razor and be perfectly fine with that, and just go for the full synergy here. They've got Weave, they've got their illusions, Chaos Strike. You got a lot of potential for burst physical damage, and I would not mind seeing somebody like a Razor that can just build tank items. They go for the TA though instead, and she does have some merits here against a few of these heroes with the Refraction, but against the Ember Spirit she kind of struggles. The Ember Spirit's Flame Guard will take her Refraction out quickly, so she's gonna just instead hit him as quickly as possible. If he's ever in melee range of her, that means she's gonna look to Melt Strike him and take out about half his HP, since he too is very low armor. So I'm curious how 4C&L are going to build this. Maybe the test goes for Guardian Greaves. Maybe we see a Vladimir's offering on a hero we normally wouldn't. At the very least, a Bassi Ring is going to be very important in this game for 4C&L. But they're banning a lot of good controllers.
Radiant team.
But Vega Squadron seem confident. As long as they can keep one hero alive with Shallow Grave for as long as possible, they're fine. And the Ancient Apparition being banned out means that that person is unlikely to be killed off post Shallow Grave. They can just disengage with the last few seconds left on it, unless the Ember Spirit has all his remnants still up and available. Anywho, another thing is Dazzle's great in the laning phase against Tusk. He's probably one of the better supports to be able to survive, thanks to the Shadow Wave heal bomb you can put out on the creep wave whenever he snowballs into your side lane. I'm not sure if there's anything else to really mention here. The Night Stalker ban is just one of the better offlaners in this context. Vision becomes very important very early on in this game. And 4C&L don't want to have to dedicate to hard warding. I mean, Tusk definitely wants to build up the Guardian Greaves, the Mech, the Arcanes, stuff like that. He doesn't want to build via wards. And then, of course, we're looking for 4C&L's 5 position here for EGM. That will just be a ward machine as well. Probably need some sentries. Good to tag as the TA in order to control her as well. It's not just for the meld, it's really traps too. The traps can really give TA so much in the mid lane. I mean, that could be enough to set up a relocate gank in of itself. Shakira's going to be coming in, though, and do like this pick. Has a lot of value in supporting the lane. Obviously, it will also be able to play this 5-position role. And it has just enough tank that it won't be immediately killed off by the CK in one of his combos or the Templar Assassin jumping in. That being said, I really got to say that a lot of Vega's focuses for this game is going to be on the Wisp. One of the reasons that Bambo is happy to go for the Assassination offlane Tiny against the Wisp, not necessarily just to break down the Tether Buddy, but also because the one thing that IO can't deal with is people who jump on top of him and just annihilate him with burst damage. And Tiny is one of the best heroes for it with that blink. So what we're going to be looking at
Prepare for battle.
the fight, trying to attack a target he really wouldn't pursue, even with a blade mail in play. We're loaded into the game. Let's get into it, guys. Thanks for bearing with us as we solve all our reborn technical issues, and we might actually see a pick off here. Bambo has boots, so it might be okay, but we'll have to see. They're going to go for the tether play already. The Chaos Bolt or the Rift? I think the Bolt is the play, and there it is. Only a 1-second stun, but it will be enough to bring Tiny down here. First blood spilled by Solo, who is not going to be going for the bottle save. Interesting. So, what we have here is the potential for Solo still to pick up the bounty rune. No one can, or the Solo and the Wisp can. Either way, they are going to be able to get a lot of early value out of that first blood. So let's go for some quick introductions. We've got Solo on the Wisp, starting off with a Healing Salve, Tangos, and an Enchanted Mango. That'll be Pasha on the Chaos Knight, getting some free mana thanks to the Tether. Sioma is going to be on that Dazzle. So they're going to be, looks like tri-laning together, getting a lot of value potentially out of that Shadow Wave with Tether heal. And yeah, they will bounty rune. For the Wisp? No. To the TA will pick it up in the end. Solo says, I'll get my bottle out fast enough anyways. Oh my gosh, Bambo! No! What is happening? Why is he here? He's just trying to get a ward up. I mean, this was right 15 seconds in the game. You know they're going for the bounty rune. They're obviously not going for this bounty rune. They're gonna be in the bottom rune area. And he just walks in and trusts his boots of speed to save him. Bambo Dota, guys. Highs and lows. This guy fills the hills and the valleys. He's a roller coaster of a Dota player, but here he seems to be on the downswing as he's having some trouble. It could just be tether slowed again. Nice avalanche will get some distance, but even then, he loses more than half of his mana and HP in the process. It's going to be a rough ride for him. Anyways, up top, we're going to see Dazzle rotate. They said, okay, well, I'm pretty sure the Wisp can take the lane from here. So they'll rotate the Dazzle to try to help out the Axe. And Axe is just going to be kind of playing this off-lane role set. Mag just wants to get experience. A little bit of last hitting would be nice, but otherwise they're just kind of hiding under the tower. I expect the Dazzle kind of should be playing it back here a little bit more. So if the snowball comes in, he has a way to just kind of run. But we'll see. Right now, Sioma's just going to be staying under the tower with his buddy here, and the Tusk doesn't seem to be getting too involved. He actually, Nequel goes for the side pull here. He's going to be able to take 3 Radiant Creeps out of the equation, which is pretty solid. Down bottom, Sabambo will trade it with Solo, but it's just not working. I really don't feel like this Tiny is going to get the farm that they were hoping, and like maybe a 1v1 matchup. Tiny versus Axe would be great, but against the dual lane and the tri lane, it's just not been working out. Alrighty, so we've got no one going up against the Shadow Fiend right now. SF Saxa has 9 souls here with the Necromastery. Top Mag gonna be caught out a little bit here. Dual Breath gonna be slowing him down, but they need a little bit more here. They go for the Ice Shards, a lot of right clicks going against him, and they will get the Searing Chains as well. Dazzle though, coming in with the heal, and that'll be enough to keep him alive. He's got Magic Stick, he's got Healing Salve, he's fine here. He's actually baiting them further and further under the tower. And in the meantime, the Ember Spirit dies under the tower. Oh my gosh! Dies to just the Poison Touch and the hits from the tower there. That is a huge misplay. He didn't even check that Mag had Magic Stick charges. Like, there's no way to get that kill with level 1 Searing Chains. Just absolutely not. Damage just isn't anywhere near there. But, there you go. And we'll see Tiny force back to base as well. Really, I think they need to adjust their lanes now. They are not in a position to win this. All the heal bomb coming in from Sioma kills off the Jakiro, and Nequa's dropping low too. Just put the Battle Hunger on him and run him down here. Even if they don't get the kill, they have won 2 lanes out of 3 easily here. And Nequa actually might go down. No, Healing Salve. Gonna be able to heal through Battle Hunger, and Mag only got 1 counter Helix off. But even still, they really just need to adjust their lanes. Sexy Bamboo comes up top. He's looking for the flank. They need to find something, because right now they're 0 and 4. They're finding no last hits. As you can see, that just is all the Vega right now. 17 and 13 on Pasha. Even the TA is beating the SF in a 1v1 with no support contribution. But we'll see a little bit of engagement here as Dual Breath and Avalanche. Oh no, just the Toss are here. No Avalanche available thanks to the mana issues. Mag is still alive, still kicking. He'll be snowballed. Finally, the Avalanche comes through, and that will finally be enough to bring down Mogul Khan. Oh, it took a lot for Bambo to get that Avalanche. Just needed 6 mana, but it takes about 8 seconds to get that because of the, kind of weak early intelligence of Tiny. Better than it used to be, thanks to 2.85, but still, you want like a Circlet or an Iron Branch to make the combo work. Either that or you need level 3 or 4, which generally is no problem for a Tiny, but in this game it seems to be a lot more difficult. Isrin here for solo, but he doesn't have any spirits. So he's not going to be able to do that much damage by himself. Just goes for the Invis play here on Sioma. Overcharge active. They're going to go for a heal bomb here on Pycat, and they might just find this. Poison Touch will only 1/3 slow for 3 seconds. But with the Battle Hunger slow on top of it, that might be enough for them to get the Tether slow, and then they go for the heal bomb. The Shadow Wave times 2 or 3 would bring Pycat down very quickly. So while he seems actually alright here, it may change very quickly if Solo can get in position. I'll just goes for like a straight southwest movement here. We have 336 movement speed versus 198 right now. Yeah, I think he can actually find that. And if he does get the follow-up slow, then yeah, they should be able to get that kill. A lot of right clicks and of course the Shadow Wave. So I'm really trying to think about what 4C&L can do to really salvage this laning stage, because right now it is just problematic. The Axe has Tranquil Boots. He's gonna have a blink in no time at all. The TA has not been able to stack up her Ancients very much, but otherwise has been dueling it out really nicely here in mid. While Shadow Fiend gets nothing in terms of stacks himself. Few Stators. easy to clear out, but no value there from the support stacking. So I feel like you almost have to start like looking to abandon one lane, and I guess that's kind of what they've done. Tiny went top, leaving the CK to just farm freely. And oh, sorry, looking back up top here, they did get that tether slow, they did get the Shadow Wave, and that's going to be the kill in the Ember Spirit. So 5-1 is now your kill score. And with all those kills, they're actually able to get some really nice starting items here on the supports, where supports are usually struggling to get boots and stuff like that up. Sioma now has that as the 5 position, and Solo can start making his way towards the Magic Wand or the Urn of Shadows. Kira rotates down. EGM here 1v1ing against Pasha. Not really the matchup he wants. He's going to need somebody else in this lane to really get anything more than just this straight experience. Someone might actually be converged on here, though. Gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have a trap on the high ground. Yeah, they can definitely look for a toss play. Sexy Van Boga just gonna toss the Ember Spirit right on top. That's how you get in melee range of a TA. Gonna go and combo it up with a number of spells and even get a TP cancel out of it. Just a really great combo, but of course it does cost them 4 heroes just to get that kill. So it's not a bad kill, and it does go to Shadow Fiend, so he's absolutely at max souls now. But and it's showing how much they really need to make those plays happen. They at the very least needed 3 heroes to get that kill. And then you have to be worried about the TP from the Dazzle. If you don't kill somebody fast enough, Sioma TP Shallow Grave, and suddenly they're fine. Bottom lane, we're going to be seeing the Haste Ember Spirit making his move here. Pash is damn tanky though. Treads, Bracer. Very similar build to what you saw on the Sven, and it just gives him so much raw HP to work with. Nice little ward there, especially with this tree cut down, but we're going to see the tether failed to stick the way they wanted it to, and Pycat is actually going to be just trying to disengage with the Searing Chains. We'll actually go in with the Tusk's help, and they're going to turn it around, killing off the Wisp, now pursuing onto Posh. And Pasha, juke as he may, will still be going down, it looks like. The Shallow Grave will keep him up a little bit longer, but they should have one more thing to lock him in place. No, the Healing Salve and the TP in from the TA, and it's a turnaround. EGM might get one more spell off, but now they're all in trouble here as Pycat gets hit by one more Chaos Bolt, and Jakiro is left hung out in the rain. Oh my. Very hot and heavy engagements here. It does leave Bambo time to get solo experience, but Mag's getting the creep wave while Bambo just gets experience. So that's a very important distinction. Nice moving in from there from Tusk, but he only really has one volley of spells to work with here and now, and it just feels like the sustained engagements from 4C&L are struggling. One Shallow Grave is all it takes for Vega to extend the play, and that second wave of spells just isn't there for heroes like Tiny, Tusk. Oh, we will see, however, up top, Pycat helps out the Tiny with a kill here. And unfortunately, I didn't get to catch that one, but it looks like they were just able to toss Avalanche and combo it up. All by himself with no Dazzle to save him. Saxa will pull ahead here in last hits, thanks to a little bit of jungle play on the Satyrs, but also, of course, some good CSing on the lane. In the meantime, though, bottom lane, Aqua wants to just hold this position. They don't want this tower to go down so early, but how many heroes do they actually have to invest to kill off the CK, especially if the Wisp and the Dazzle are willing to rotate? We'll see shortly. As looks to finish off this tier 1, and we've got 4 Vega heroes on the Radiant side. Sioma will be scouted out by an Observer Ward, I believe. No, actually that doesn't give that much intel on this side. It's a great ward for seeing what's going on up in this area, but it doesn't actually see anything in your own jungle. Now Sioma's just going to be right at his back, and this tier 1 tower should be falling unrequited. So going to Pasha Bash.
Tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower has been denied.
Smoking up. I believe the ward missed that too. They're just playing around it, even though they are very unlikely to know that it's there. Should be the death of the EGM at the very least. They have clear ward vision on him. They'll go for the Reality Rift, and that's going to be the kill. I would say that the CK might be misplaying by not tread swapping his spells, but he's got a wisp behind him with bottle, so it likely not to really mean that much. Oh, really wants this opening on Mag here. Done it once before, they're gonna try again, but Dazzle TP is always available now. So I really feel like it would be a misplay if they go on. Actually gonna be the jump on mid here, and Shadowfiend just TPs away from it. It's actually a really good understanding of what they're capable of, that they couldn't get the stun. And we will see that jump on Mag. Will not be caught by Searing Chains just yet. He got the taunt off pretty early, and there's the turnaround onto Bambo. Slow to a crawl, trapped, and dunked. Even Pycat now having to TP away. He has his Remnant up top, but that's not a lane he wants to come back to, as it's just going to be run down, and the tier 1 tower taken with it. Bottom lane, Ash just happily farming. Not really afraid of any kind of flank thanks to these 2 observer wards, so all he has to do is keep an eye on who's jumping from this tower, and without any blink daggers or anything, there's no real easy way to close in on a CK who has drums and already has a great natural amount of movement speed. Speaking of blink daggers, Mag's going to be finding his very shortly, and that's going to be putting him in a great position this game to just initiate over and over and over again. I mean, a lot of people, when Axe was in his prime, compared the spell Berserker's Call to a reverse polarity. That's only on like a 10-second cooldown. The fact is, blinking in, you're going to be able to get multiple initiations off, and it's going to be causing 4C&L a lot of problems. They're instead going to try to be preemptive about this and move in, finding out Posh with a smoke, but it looks like he's not going to fall for it, and that movement speed feeds him away. So that's going to be, it looks like a armlet for the CK along with the treads, drums, all these great stat items to build up the phantasms, which he hasn't even skilled up yet. I'm actually kind of surprised at this. The 4400 build used to be like the only thing you built on CK, but recently Chaos Strike level 1 as well as Phantasm level 1 were significantly buffed. The fact you can get an extra free illusion 50% of the time, and that Chaos Strike at all ranks, when it procs, will reduce the enemy's armor by 5 for 8 seconds. Obviously, it's pretty unlikely with only 10% chance, but you gotta roll the dice sometimes, especially with a hero like CK. Solo looks to be going down here, but Dazzle, no, that's not the Dazzle. That's just the TA jumping in. Pycat gonna Remnant out. Will be taking a considerable amount of damage while the blink comes in from Mag on the backside. They'll kill off the Jakiro for sure. And now dunking him down, they might look to close in on Pycat. They've got another blink coming up on the Axe very, very shortly, and Pycat is gonna have to keep running for his life here. But there's nothing to stop a TP. So I think he'll just look for that very shortly. Honey, on the other hand, doesn't get the option. CK just closes in on him with the Chaos Bolt, and looks to push on the tier 1 next. So it looks like he's happy to go for a 4-4-1 build, and this is the exact same build you would go like 2 years ago on CK, and he'll go for Phantasm at 10 and 11. So the Ember gets away, but the Tiny gets no help up top. And of course the Jakiro has gone down yet again. Current death score we'll go into is 1-4 on Sexy Bambo, 0-4 on EGM. They're getting picked off left and right. And I wouldn't even say it's their fault. A few overextensions from Bambo to be sure, but a lot of them is just great movement from Vega. They're baiting them under towers. They're now able to initiate a long range with blinks, soon to be relocates. They're just in a great position this game. They're gonna have to keep the aggression up though. I mean, the CK without like a Hand of Midas only needs to focus on kills and push, because he's not able to farm nearly as quickly as the Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend is the flash farmer game, and while TA can do a little bit of work with the like ancient stacks and the cleave effect of Sideblades, it's not going to compare to SF. CK actually in some trouble here. Armlet is going to be necessary. No, relocate. Oh no, he phantasms. What are you doing, man? He phantasms to try to break up some of the damage forthcoming, but the Wisp was relocating. He was going to get his life saved by Solo, and instead Solo goes down with him. Punched back up to the starry sky from which he came. Oh man, that phantasm actually was just a huge misplay. They absolutely would have saved the CK for sure. Even without an armlet toggle, even without anything fancy, the Wisp was just able to target him with the tether. But because he phantasmed right when that targeting was trying to happen, there was no relocate and there was no save. Oh boy, that's unfortunate. But, you know, at the same time, no one is farming up that Dezo, should have it pretty soon. Got complete control of the bottom lane, where Mag is maybe even considering creep cutting at this point. Like, they know everybody's committed up top. There are no BOTs or anything up, so you should be able to get away. Either way, though, he's happily farming, and he'll pick up his next item to be sure. I'm trying to think of what item Axe goes for next, because Aghanim Scepter really used to be the pickup, but I don't think it's as good now. Maybe just a 4-staff. 4-staff would be actually pretty solid against a lot of 4C&Ls and Tools of Initiation. Going in on the Roche Pit here, just Meld Strike, gonna be lending its hand to try to bring this thing down quickly. And who did they give the Aegis to in this situation? It might just be the CK, yeah. So, obviously, his Phantasms are independent of his life, but he still wants to get that respawn, that reincarnate, and that extra ability to really take the fights. They've got relocate back up, no bottle charges or anything, but enough to at least join the fight if necessary. And he'll just go for, it looks like a Vanguard. Pretty solid pickup overall. Could go for even a Crimson.
Radiant's middle tower is under
which is really good against the side of Fist. But we're going to see Pash actually caught out here alongside his buddy. They're going to be taking the Aegis very early. This was a great initiation from Niwa. I was going to talk about how dangerous it was for them to be playing around that bottom rune area because of that Radiant Observer Ward. And before I even get to it, they are able to take advantage of that. These guys sat around here for a very long time. I think they were looking for a bottle refill for the Wisp, but staying around this general area just sets up the Tusk for that play. And that's going to actually give a nice swing of gold and experience forward, taking out the Aegis as well as giving 850 gold to 4C&L. They're going to be able to take that to the bank with some new items. Desolator comes out for the TA though, and I'm not seeing those new items just yet. BOT's up for Ember Spirit. It's really good for him. But we're just not seeing enough otherwise. Doxa under a Sentry Ward. He is going to be seen. They are absolutely aware of this Shadow Fiend here, and they should be able to completely counteract him. So it just has to back off.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sioma not going to be going for the Medallion this game, it looks like. Medallion and Solar Crest obviously getting a few nerfs, but still not that bad of an item. That's solid, especially for the Dazzle in particular. But so far, just going for the Arcanes, Magic 1, just trying to sustain his allies. It works really well with the Wisp. TA goes ahead, denies the Tier 2 top lane. They're going to be using Relocate mostly to get where they want to be, so they're not going to need as much out of these towers. It does lose them a little bit of map control, but it's better to take that gold away from 4C&L. Doxa farming up nicely, but still doesn't have that much tank to him. 1300 HP is nice, but that's what CK had 8 minutes in the game. He needs a little bit more. I'm not sure where the solution comes from, though, because the only thing BKB really prevents is the Chaos Bolt. The Reality Rift. Like, it's nice to take those off the table, but it's not worth picking BKB just for that spell. So, it's likely that we'll see a different build from the SF than we saw before. Obviously, we're already seeing something other than the mechanism, but I would expect no BKB this game either. So, I have Scotty seems to be the obvious alternative. And Noon just farming up the Ancients once again.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And it looks like Sekibembo will find the Blink, but a lot later than he was hoping for. Usually for this kind of tiny build, and this offlane tiny, you want your Blink Dagger maybe like 14-15 minutes in the game at the latest. Here he's getting it nearly 19 minutes in. It's going to be hard to get the full value out of this combo. Like, he's going to hit level 9, so he gets it at the time that's best for his spells, but we're seeing everybody else just being just tanky enough to survive the combo for the most part. I think you can pick up the Wisp and maybe even the Dazzle. They don't get any spells off during the combo, but I don't know, you're kind of playing with fire because you commit yourself 100% to the kill play. Smoke seed available, looking maybe to start taking the Radiant side of the map as well as the Dire. Vega, Nancy, they definitely have a lot of potential at this point in the game, and I think they need to take full advantage of that. The Axe being the main initiator here, the tankiest guy on the map, and they just kind of need to start showing that off. Like I said, the CK doesn't farm that quickly. We're already seeing him fall behind the Shadow Fiend significantly in net worth, and you'd expect the Ember Spirit to start creeping on him pretty soon, as he most likely is a Battle Fury. So, Ash and Solo just hiding out here with Relocate at the ready. Everybody else just looking for that opening, for that initiation. Okay, here in the Dire jungle, it looks like is where the action's going to be. Radiant Observer Ward scouting out Mag. Again, far too tanky for Bambo to jump on by himself, but we get the Remnant Searing Chains in, and that very well might be a kill possibility. The problem is, they don't know where the follow-up is. They're only now seeing the Dazzle, who is probably going to be their kill target if they go in. And, there's a big difference between centering here, guys, centering here. A lot of people just drop wards down on the eyeball, but if you get a here, you can see one of the neutral creeps here, so you know if it's being farmed. And also, as you can see, this sentry ward, though it could have been placed further to the west, does not actually grab that. So very lucky for Sexy Bambo. That doesn't get dewarded. Because that's going to be insanely good intel for two reasons. First of all, it's in a great spot. Seeing them, as they rotate into their jungle, it's going to be seeing there to farm that side of the map and just kind of do their thing. The second reason is because Vega think that ward doesn't exist. Because they have a sentry ward here, you think that you've got that area covered unless they warded like down here. So because they have that security that whatever we do here is a secret, they're actually going to be giving away a lot of information everywhere they move, every move they make. See that jump though onto Sexy Bambo, looks like that'll be a quick and easy kill, no dunk needed. And the Relocate just going to be putting Pash in a better position to start taking the tower down. Tier 1's going to go down on the top lane for 4C&L, but in the meantime, they're cleaning up the Tier 2 tower on the bottom. We're going to see the Dazzle coming in. The only one they're afraid of is this Axe, and Axe is actually TPing the Tier 3 tower. They're not going to be able to close in here, find any real punishment for this aggression. They just put a lot of damage in the Tier 2. I believe they also got the Tier 1. Yeah, Radiant. Tower was destroyed by the Radiant, so yes, they got the Tier 1 bottom, pushed heavily on the Tier 2, and they walk away pretty happy. Man, a lot of gold saved up for Saska, but I can't imagine anything but the Eye of Scotty at this point. I mean, BKB is still a possibility, but I think it's a pretty bad one. With all the physical damage you're going to be receiving. The only good thing about the BKB is it makes sure that you get the Requiem off in the fight, and that's really important against the CK. Not as important against the Templar, but CK gets all this damage from base. Like, he bumps up his strength a ton, and if you can get the Requiem to cut that damage in half, that's really huge. That's why tied to Anchor Smash, he's able to counters the CK at point where he was most prevalent. Ember Spirit farming up, gonna have that Battle Fury very soon. They're just gonna spread the map. They just say, screw it, we don't need that bottom lane. But Axe is coming in here for the SF. The Avalanche will not catch Mag out. He shift used the blink, and he will get that initiation. But here comes Shadow Fiend's Requiem. No one pops the BKB and still keeps slicing and dicing. Will clean him up. So Axe for SF so far. Solo gonna be rebounding in just 2 seconds. We'll leave no one to try to clean up one more. But as you can see, he can't really follow up on anything else, and the best they can do is maybe deny this tier tower. In the meantime, this Radiant Observer Ward, don't know, can absolutely kill you. Just find that jump. So no one's gonna be okay. Noon, as you guys prefer. I don't know, I just like the name No One better than Noon. Just my opinion, but I'll call him Noon. I know a lot of people prefer it to be pronounced in the proper dialect. Net worth hasn't really shifted too heavily one way or another. We're looking at maybe 35, 4K in favor of Vega, 5K experience. But as we see the mechanism starting to build up in 4C&L, I think they're going to have more potential. Unless this Ember Spirit really starts doing work. Pycat in a good position to start catapulting ahead in farm. The Battle Fury is almost done, and he's been able to move around the map very nicely. That being said, one blink call could still be his undoing. One blink call, Chaos Bolt, and there's no way he will survive. Actually going to be seeing a jump here onto the Dazzle. That assassination, though, will fail as this Bracer shows its value. So now slowed up a little bit here, but they need a little more. Trap isn't going to be enough. Bambo's just too fast with the phase boots and that base movement speed, but wow! What a hit from that Desolator. Meld Strike. Noon takes him down a notch. And Tiny, as fast as you can run with the extra points and grow and that phase boot, just not going to be enough, and they have their entire team nipping at your heels. So they take down the Tiny, they look for the tier 2 tower. Jakiro, all he can really do is throw like long range ice baths to annoy them, maybe cancel a TP back, but otherwise all they're going to try to do is just bring down the waves quickly. Still, with the Aegis still up for the TA for plenty of time, they're going to look to reach the high ground, and it's going to be on the Shadow Fiend's Requiem, I think, to happen. He does go for the BKB, knowing the importance of that Requiem, but obviously there are still spells that will go right through it. I'm not sure if they actually saw that smoke. They broke him instantly on the mag, so there's a good chance they know about it, and they're just going to let it taper off. They really should have probably gone into the trees somewhere, rather than just doing that on the lane. Well, patience, just waiting for anybody to tiptoe out of line. Their jump.
Tower has fallen.
Alright, we got the jump here onto EGM, gonna be pulling him back. Nice avalanche, doing some damage, but Pasha will pop the BKB, and it looks like he was able to dodge. Doesn't get the debuff, does some considerable damage, and they knock him down with the Meld Strike from the TA. A huge burst of damage from the CK-TA combo, and yeah, they are finding those kills that they needed. Not sure about that relocate. Maybe, did the Wisp have to buy back? No, I'm not sure, but they go ahead. I think they're celebrating at this point. They know they've got this one in the bag. With those kills, those picks, and all that damage coming in, there's very, very little that can be done to stop them at this point. They just had a great draft, and Vega are looking for a quick and easy 2-0 on 4C&L. I mean, the huge play there was a Phantasm. That split was perfectly timed to dodge out any Requiem, and not only does he not take damage, which is something, but more importantly, there is no debuff on him or his illusions. So he's able to do full damage for the rest of the time, and they're able to clean it up. 4C&L now just poking at him from afar. They'll go for their last hurrah, their midnight hour defense, but no one crits him down. Oh, the Desolator Meld Strike. So devastating to a Tiny without any craggy exterior leveled. Oh, no hope now. This just didn't work out the way they wanted it to. The laning phase was atrocious for Bambo, just dying repeatedly in the safe lane position. And then that offlane rotation, when the Dazzle came through, they couldn't dive on the Axe. It just became impossible for them to do anything in either lane, and Vega just really were able to do so much. Even the TA winning out against the Shadow Fiend, Noon showing what he's capable of in just a straight up 1v1, only mid. No neutrals. Just a duel to end them all. And I really can't say that Pycat can even rat it out at this point. They've lost 2 lanes of racks, mid and bottom. They're up against the Relocate and all these TPs. Hell, the Wisp has Boots of Travel. The hero that doesn't pick up Boots for his first 4 item slots has Boots of Travels. Like, come on, guys. They just have too much potential to counter push at every turn, and 4C&L, they have to wonder just what went wrong with those lanes. They just can't do anything at this point in the game. They'll still try for a couple cool plays here. We've got the Tusk with that Blink Dagger. Obviously the SF has that Requiem KB behind it, but they need a miracle at this point to bring it back. Asha, if he's the kill target, it's a bad one. He has 2k HP to work with. They'll go for Solo instead. Good burst potential there, but they need the Tiny, and Tiny's bottom, so they can't finish off Solo just yet. He's still alive, and Pash is starting to clean things up. Even getting the taunt back on Soxka! He can't finish the Wisp off, and the Shadow Fiend goes down. Oh, just what a collaboration of kills. Dunking down the creep wave, no cares given. And the Tiny not involved at all. Like, if the Tiny's there, the Whiff dies, and then maybe you start finding follow-up kills. Instead, they just get the Dazzle. Solo's back to full HP. And everybody's ready to roll on the top lane here. Gonna see the Blink Dagger canceled, so Mag can't get the Blink call, but we still see the Melt Strike putting Pycat in his place. They actually missed that? Nope, they got it. Pycat just not quick enough to get away from Mag. Not even using the Force Staff there. The jump gets the kill. Relocate to the fountain? To the fountain we go, all the way back to the Dire base. Healing up, grabbing some troll items, some Dagons perhaps, but no. We'll see the pressure come in top. Yeah, the relocate rubber band brings Wisp back, but doesn't put him in any real jeopardy. In fact, they didn't bring the axe. This is actually a 4v3 right now. If they can just focus the Wisp, they have some potential. Pash looks for the jump onto Bambo, but in the meantime, TA in the backline already doing her damage. We'll just go for the full zoom out here. TA gets hit by the Ice Path, but they close in on the Tiny. They kill him off, and now Shadow Fiend. Oh, uphill miss. Easy. Still, at this point, it's just too far gone. 23,000 net worth, 17,000 experience. Vega Squadron 2-0 4C&L for the first game, or for the second game of this best of 3, which is the first match for today. Really just clean play coming from them all around. And looking forward to seeing what they bring throughout the rest of Starladder. Their next game for Vega Squadron is going to be versus Hellraisers on November 3rd. But they're going to be taking a breather for here today, and we're going to be going into an extended break until we get into the next match. I'm not sure if they'll push up the time, but I think we're going to be going as scheduled, as Alliance are playing up against another team right now. So